Hi.
Hola.
Hi, hier ist Mr. Döse.
This is Michael Bradley.
Hey, I'm Memphis.
Hey.
Hola. Hello.
I'm here with soccer.com.
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 And I'm talking with my friends soccer.com.
See you soon.
Hey guys, Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com, bringing you my review plus on-feet video of the made in Japan Mizuno Morelia Neo 2 in the latest blue and white colorway. At least that's what it says on the box. So, of course, in today's video, we'll take a closer look at the colors on this particular shoe. We don't see too many new colorway releases from Mizuno, but this is one of their latest ones. But what I really want to focus on is the shoe itself. Mizuno is one of those brands that's not exactly well known in North America, especially if you're not a boot enthusiast. So if you've never heard of Mizuno or you've never seen these shoes before, you're definitely going to learn some things in today's video. And for those of you guys that were really big fans of the F50 Adizeros, specifically the leather upper variation, this is basically an alternative that I would say is better quality as well as a better performer to pretty much any leather F50 that we ever got. So if you're interested in that style of shoe, listen closely because you're probably going to be very, very interested in this Mizuno Morelia Neo. So if you want to learn more, stick around and watch the entire thing. If you're interested in a pair of these for yourself, I'll leave a little pop-up on screen, or you can click the first link down below in the description. That'll take you to the review page on my website where you'll find buy it now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes where you'll be able to pick these up below their normal $290 retail price. So they are quite expensive. That's partially because they are made in Japan, but we'll talk about that a little bit later in today's video. So included in the box is a couple different extras. One, you get a string bag, which is kind of expected with a lot of top-end models. You do get it with these Mizunos. And they also include a leather care kit, which is really interesting. There is kangaroo leather featured on this upper, and you can see the little clip on screen. It's basically just cloth and some leather care product. But I think that's something that is a really cool little extra that we should get from a lot more of these high-end leather products, just so you have something to take care of them over the lifespan of the shoes. It's not a ton of product, but it's just enough for basically as long as the shoes are going to last. So as far as the shoes themselves are concerned, this is basically Mizuno's lightweight boot. So what you're gonna find is a kangaroo leather toe or forefoot area, a vamp if you will, and then synthetic for pretty much the rest of the shoe, including the tongue itself. So the kangaroo leather here you get at the front is super high quality. It's very thin as well. So again, for those of you guys that were really big fans of the F50 Adizeros, the leather they included on those tended to be, I thought, kind of too bulky for the thin synthetic through the midfoot. This has a little bit more of a balanced feel in general, but you get that softness, you get that flexibility, you get that very slightly cushioned touch on the ball in the toe box area, especially when you're dribbling and shooting. And then you get the slightly more pingy, kind of barefoot sensation through the midfoot and top of the foot area where the tongue is positioned when you're passing and kind of controlling the ball in general. So it's a really interesting combination. I'm personally not too crazy about having a thinner synthetic and leather in the same upper, but I know a lot of people really like that. Again, if you really like the F50 Adizeros, this is an awesome alternative to that. As far as the tongue and central lacing system is concerned, the lacing system, as you can see, has these kind of staggered lace holes, and this really does an excellent job of locking the laces in place when you pull them tight and just giving you this nice secure sensation. I think what the Mizuno Morelia Neo 2 does really well over any of the previous F50 Adizeros, especially the leather ones, is this feels much more secure and much more responsive on your feet, which is better in terms of overall performance. And again, the quality I would say is excellent. The made in Japan aspect of these boots or any Mizuno products generally means that it's going to be a better quality variation. They're more expensive, of course. Sometimes they even feature different materials or different qualities of the same materials, but basically the made in Japan models are the best of the best in terms of what Mizuno has on offer. Kind of an ultra premium variation, I guess is the best way to describe it. It's kind of unusual because we don't see this from other brands, but that's basically how Mizuno does it and how they've pretty much always done it. So made in Japan is what you want when it comes to top-end Mizuno products, but even if you can't get a made in Japan variation, the quality is still very, very good. So low cut in the heel, obviously nothing too crazy about that. You have this little extension piece at the back, which I would say is more for visuals more than anything. You're gonna have a nice suede heel liner here with a good amount of padding, so heel lockdown is actually very, very good in this particular shoe. The insole is fully removable, and I think one of the best insoles you can get on any shoe. The insole, what's interesting is the lining material. The lining is kind of like it's got a grittiness to it, I guess is the best way to describe it. Not where it's rough or anything like that, but it's just gritty enough to where it really does an excellent job of gripping your socks and preventing the base of your foot from sliding around on the base of the sole. Again, just increasing the overall responsiveness of the shoe, especially given that it fits quite tight. When you pull the laces tight, your foot really does feel locked in place. And the insole itself, it's quite straightforward, being just a standard foam material. But again, this liner I think is one of the best grip liners you're gonna find on pretty much any boot out there from any brand. So we'll slide this back into the shoe really quickly, and we'll take a closer look at the bottom of the shoe, which if you're familiar with the F50 Adizeros and even the current Adidas product line, you'll notice that the external heel counter attached to the sole plate is very similar to the sprint frame construction from Adidas. And really, these two I guess sole plate stud pattern combos have been around for quite some time. It's not really a case of Mizuno copying anybody with this particular layout, but it does definitely look a lot similar to what we've seen from Adidas. But again, they've been around for quite some time, kind of released almost at the same time, I would say. Sole plate itself, this has, I think, a little bit better flexibility in comparison to Adidas, especially in the forefoot. It just feels a little bit more natural in terms of how it bends. And then the stud pattern is also a little bit different in that instead of having 3 studs on either side, you have 4, all conical in shape, 1 support stud in the middle, and then your 4 conical studs there in the heel as well. This, of course, being a firm ground stud pattern. And overall, it works quite well. It's nothing incredible in regards to overall traction, but it feels good for this style of shoe. I actually quite like this stud pattern. It's simple, but it does work quite effectively. And then you have the 2 rivets at the tip of the toe just to strengthen the bond of this particular shoe. So while the retail price is quite steep on these guys, they definitely are worth their retail price in regards to overall quality. When it comes to durability, I think that Mizuno has some of the best quality, best built, most durable shoes that money can buy. You can't necessarily kind of predict how long any shoe will last, but if you're banking on a shoe lasting a long time, I think some of these made in Japan Mizuno products, you can expect them to last at least until you feel like you've got your money's worth, let's just say that. So they definitely do hold up quite well based on experiences that I've had with these things. In regards to weight, in a size 9 US, these guys weigh in at 6.9 ounces, so they are just under the 7 ounce range, which is very, very lightweight. Again, comparable to some of those older leather F50 Adizero models, but I would say for as light as they are, they actually feel much more solid than you might expect. It does not feel like a flimsy boot on your feet, which I personally really, really like. And as far as the colorway is concerned, because that's what we talked about at the start, it's kind of unusual. You get the blue here at the toe, kind of a darker royal blue, same thing in the laces, as well as the sole plate, and then it transitions as it goes from leather to synthetic into that dark blue and then fades eventually into kind of like a sky blue color, which is a really interesting color combo. You have that in the tongue as well. And then it's accented with the Mizuno branding there in white on either side of the upper, the Morelia Neo branding there on the back in gold, and then you have little neon green accents in the heel tab, the Mizuno branding on the tongue, and of course bits of the sole plate and the studs themselves. So really, really interesting color combo. They actually look better in person than I was honestly expecting, but let me know what you guys think of the look of this shoe down below in the comment section. That's enough about tech specs though. Let's take a look at how these things fit and feel on feet. So you can see here on the right boot, I actually swapped out the stock blue laces for some wide reflective green SR4U replacement laces. So if you are interested in a pair of replacement laces for yourself, the website to go to is www.sr4ulaces.com. I'll leave a little pop-up on screen as well as a link down below in the description. But I thought these looked really, really cool on here, accenting with the subtle green accents in the heel, the tongue, and of course the studs. So again, if you're interested in a pair, link down below, go ahead and check it out. So putting these on, pretty straightforward, given that it is a pretty standard design. And what you'll really find with the Mizuno Morelia Neos is that the sides of the shoe don't come up all that high, so they'll look kind of wide. It makes your foot look a lot wider than it actually is, but because of this kind of shallower side that they've incorporated here, you get this super secure locked in fit. So when you'll see that when you tie the laces tight, especially because they are staggered, it just holds everything in place super, super well. One of the more responsive, thin, lightweight shoes that you can buy, even though there's nothing that's overly fancy in regards to the material that they've used. It's pretty much just a standard thin synthetic, but it feels super locked in when they are on your feet. So I'm just gonna tie these up really quickly, tuck these into the side. I'm gonna throw on the other shoe. They also lace their shoes a little bit differently in that the laces go, instead of going basically from the bottom of the lace hole out, they go from the top of the lace hole in, which when you actually tie them up, that actually forces the shoes to stay a little bit tighter. You can do this on your shoes. It's not necessarily Mizuno's own thing. Some brands do this, but Mizuno definitely does this on pretty much all their boots, which does result in a slightly tighter fit, especially out of the box. So I'm just going to fix the tongue here. It will kind of curl up on you. I don't have the lacing system loosened as much as I should, but nonetheless, I'll tie these up for you guys. And you can see that just based on how close it's fitting my foot, you're getting a nice tight zero space feel when the shoes are tied up properly, which is really, really important. I just kind of pulled that out. Man, I'm really struggling on this one, but we'll keep it going. It is a one-take review after all. I gotta pull this. Okay, here we go. Sorry, guys. I'm just getting all mixed up here. Again, because of the staggered lacing system, the laces kind of crisscross in ways that can be a little bit unusual. But again, once you have it all sorted out, these things just feel super locked in, super, super tight, super responsive. But at the same time, they're remarkably comfortable for a tight fitting shoe. So here's what they look like on feet. Really, really good quality. The leather at the front is super soft. And as you wear them in, of course, being that it is a natural leather material, kangaroo leather to be specific, it softens up, it molds to the shape of your foot. And it just feels really, really good. The synthetic material through the middle does not feel plasticky, which is always a big concern with me. And when you have a combination of leather and synthetic on the same boot, it doesn't feel plasticky at all, but it definitely does have a firmness to it that you don't get from the leather at the front, which again kind of plays into the whole kind of responsive locked-in sensation I think they're going for with this particular shoe. Heel lockdown is very, very good. And I would say that that's the one thing about this shoe that may take some getting used to. The heel area does have a tightness to it that you get used to after a few hours of wear, but it can feel, like I said, a little bit unusual at first, but really, really good heel lockdown. And again, just adds to the overall responsiveness of this particular shoe. In regards to width, I wouldn't say that they're narrow by any means, but they're definitely not super wide either. I think they will fit most people, but if you don't like a tighter fitting shoe in general, maybe not the best option. And as far as sizing is concerned, I'm wearing my usual size 9 US here, and the fit and the length is absolutely perfect. So if you are looking to order a pair of these for yourself, I would strongly recommend going true to size in order to achieve the best possible fit. So that is pretty much it, guys, for my review of the Made in Japan Mizuno Morelia Neo 2. Again, if you're interested in a pair for yourself, you can click the little eye in the corner of the screen or the first link down below in the description. That'll take you to the review page on my website where you'll find Buy It Now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes where you'll be able to pick these up below their normal $290 retail price. If you have any questions regarding this shoe, leave them down below in the comments and I definitely will get an answer out to you. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful and informative, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information linked down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, thanks for watching.